Soccer is one of the most popular sports globally, mostly because of its ability to capture the world's attention rigorously. And this is a true revolution because before 1930, the year of the first ever World Cup tournament, football was largely played within the Olympic framework alone, which then included only France, Belgium, Denmark, the Netherlands, Spain, Sweden and Switzerland. As the years wore on, though, football began to increase in popularity, and so the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, FIFA, decided to expand its horizon internationally. As of the 2018 edition, 17 countries have hosted the World Cup, and 79 nations have participated. Watch till the end of this video to learn more about the evolution of the World Cup. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. The 1930 World Cup Soccer was the inaugural edition of FIFA's leading tournament. Uruguay was the host country, and in the final, they defeated Argentina 4-2 and became the first ever winner of the World Cup. Guillermo Stabil of Argentina finished as the top goalscorer with 8 goals. The following World Cup took place 4 years later, in 1934. Italy was the host country, making it the first FIFA World Cup to be organized in Europe. The qualification phase was also birthed in this tournament. A total of 32 teams entered the qualification, and 16 qualified for the final tournament. In the final, the game was contested between Italy and Czechoslovakia. Italy claimed a 2-1 win. Oldrich Nejedly of Czechoslovakia emerged as the top scorer with 5 goals. 4 years later, the 1938 FIFA World Cup was formed. And this one was special in more ways than one. For one, it was played under the ominous atmosphere of World War II, and it would take another 12 years for the next tournament to be realized. Secondly, it was the first World Cup match in which the hosts and the defending champions were granted automatic qualification. France was the host country. Lastly, it was the first FIFA World Cup to introduce the third-place playoff, which resulted in a 4-2 Brazil win over Sweden. The final was played between Italy and Hungary. The Italians claimed a 4-2 win. Leonidas of Brazil ended as the top scorer with 7 goals. Subsequent to a 12-year hiatus, Brazil was the next World Cup host nation in 1950. Uruguay emerged as champions, and Brazil finished as runners-up. With 8 goals, Ademir, of Brazil, finished the tournament as the top scorer and Juan Alberto Schiaffino finished second with 5 goals. 4 years later, Switzerland was selected as the FIFA World Cup host nation in 1954. West Germany defeated the Hungarians 3-2. And this match made history as it was played under heavy rain. The final match is remembered as the Miracle of Bern as the Germans defeated the long-living legends, the Hungarians, by a single score, which was scored 6 minutes from the end of full-time. This match buoyed Germany, which had been spiritually and economically devastated by the war. The Hungarians debated the scoring of the game, though, saying all the German soccer players were wearing Adidas soccer shoes with screw-in studs and, therefore, that gave them certain advantages on the mud-covered field. In the third-place game, Austria defeated Uruguay 3-1. Kochies of Hungary claimed the Golden Boot with 11 goals. The World Cup tournament remained in Europe as Sweden was selected as the next host country in 1958. In the final, Brazil took the championship home after they won a 5-2 win over Sweden. France defeated West Germany to claim the third spot. Meanwhile, Just Fontaine of France bagged 13 goals to be the top goalscorer. For its 7th edition, the World Cup was taken back to South America in 1962. Chile was the host country for the game. All participating nations consisted of Europeans and Americans. The opening game between Chile and Italy later became famously known as the Battle of Santiago. It was given this name because it recorded the highest level of violence ever seen in the World Cup. The police had to intervene 4 different times during the match. The final took place between defending champions Brazil and Czechoslovakia. The Brazilians defended their title with a 3-1 win. Chile defeated Yugoslavia 1-0 in the third-place playoff. Florian Albert, Garincha, Valentin Ivanov, Drazen Jurkovic, Lionel Sanchez, and Vava were joint top scorers with 4 goals each. In 1966, England became the first English-speaking host country to host the FIFA World Cup. The hosts went on to face off against West Germany in the final. England scored a 4-2 win after extra time. Sir Geoffrey Hurst scored the first ever and only hat-trick in the World Cup final in this match. Eusebio of Portugal was the star performer, winning the Golden Boot with 9 goals. Mexico hosted the 9th edition of the World Cup in 1970. It was the first FIFA World Cup held outside Europe and the Americas. The Brazilians claimed their 3rd FIFA World Cup as they wiped out Italy 4-1. West Germany defeated Uruguay 1-0 to claim the 3rd spot. Gerd Müller of West Germany claimed the Golden Boot with 10 goals. In 1974, West Germany won the right to host the World Cup. This year also introduced a new setup in the FIFA World Cup. The first round remained as before, but the quarterfinals and the semi-finals were replaced by a round-robin format comprising 2 groups of 4 teams. In the final, West Germany defeated the Dutch national team 2-1. Grzegorz Lotto of Poland won the Golden Boot with 7 goals. The World Cup moved back to South America in 1978 as Argentina hosted the 11th edition. The military coup and succeeding dictatorship in Argentina in 1976 outshone the tournament this year. Because of this, this edition is also infamously known as the dirtiest World Cup of all time. In the final, Argentina acquired a 3-1 win over the Ernst Happel Netherlands after extra time. Brazil defeated Italy 2-1 in the third-place match. Mario Kempes of Argentina was the top scorer with 6 goals. In 1982, Spain hosted the FIFA World Cup. The cup featured 24 teams, being the first of its kind to do so. This was also the last World Cup to feature a round-robin system in the second stage. In the final, Italy defeated West Germany 3-1, winning their 3rd World Cup. Poland defeated France 3-2 to claim the bronze. Paolo Rossi of Italy won the Golden Boot with 6 goals. In 1986, Mexico had the privilege of hosting its 2nd FIFA World Cup. The number of participating nations remained at 24. The structure of the match, though, was altered to allow round of 16 knockout games for the first time. Argentina defeated West Germany 3-2 in the final at Estadio Azteca, Mexico City. In the third-place playoff, France defeated Belgium 4-2 after extra time. This tournament is also remembered for the greatness of Diego Maradona, who scored the popular Hand of God goal and the famous solo goal against England in the quarter-finals. Gary Lineker of England won the Golden Boot with 6 goals. Italy went on to host the 1990 FIFA World Cup Soccer edition. This World Cup was also unique in several ways. For one, it is considered to fare poorly in terms of football played and has the record for the least goals scored in a match. Secondly, it was also the first World Cup to be televised on HD TV, and lastly, it birthed the introduction of the back pass rule and 3 points for a win. In the final, West Germany defeated Argentina 1-0 to proclaim their 3rd title. In the third-place match, Italy defeated Bobby Robson's England team 2-1. Salvatore Schillaci of Italy won the Golden Boot with 6 goals. Contrary to the previous World Cup, the 1994 World Cup is considered the most successful World Cup so far. It pulled a record number of spectators. The USA hosted it. And this was after the first Women's World Cup in 1991. In the final, Brazil defeated Italy 3-2 on penalties after the game had ended goalless after extra time. In the third-place playoff, Sweden won 4-0 against Bulgaria. Risto Stoichkov of Bulgaria and Oleg Salenko of Russia scored 6 goals to share the Golden Boot. Moving on to the 1998 FIFA World Cup, which France hosted. It was the first to feature 32 nations. Zinedine Zidane led France to defeat Brazil 3-0 in the final to win their first World Cup. In the third-place playoff, Croatia defeated the Netherlands 2-0. Davor Suker of Croatia scored 6 goals to claim the Golden Boot. This edition also introduced the Golden Goal rule, which stated that the first team to win the first goal in overtime wins the whole game. This rule was later scrapped. In 2002, South Korea and Japan co-hosted the 2002 FIFA World Cup. It was the first to be organized outside of Europe and the Americas and also the first to be co-hosted by more than one nation. The 2002 World Cup final was between Brazil and Germany. Brazil, led by Cristiano Ronaldo, claimed a 2-0 win, claiming their 5th title. Ronaldo scored both goals in the final and won the Golden Boot with 8 goals totaling. In the third-place playoff, Turkey defeated South Korea 3-2. Germany hosted the 18th edition of the World Cup in 2006. The Italians won the game on penalties after the final match had ended 1-1. In third place, Germany defeated Portugal 3-1. Miroslav Klose of Germany won the Golden Boot with 5 goals in the 2006 World Cup tournament. Moving on to the year 2010, the World Cup hosting privileges were granted to South Africa. This was the first World Cup to be held on the African continent. Spain won over the Netherlands with a score of 1-0. In the third-place playoff, Germany defeated Uruguay 3-2. Diego Forlan, Thomas Muller, Wesley Sneijder, and David Villa scored 5 goals each to share the tournament's top goalscorer honor. 4 years later, the World Cup was finally moved to South America as Brazil was selected as the host of the 2014 World Cup soccer tournament. This year, we have the famously won match of Germany in which they played against Brazil and defeated them a whopping 7-1. In the final, they went on to beat Argentina 1-0 after extra time. Germany made history, becoming the first European nation to win the World Cup in the Americas. In the third-place playoff, the Netherlands defeated Brazil 3-0. James Rodriguez of Colombia claimed the Golden Boot with 6 goals. And now, in the most recent World Cup, Russia won the hosting rights of the World Cup tournament in 2018. France won their second World Cup with a 4-2 win over Croatia in the final. In the third-place playoff, Belgium defeated England 2-0. Harry Kane of England claimed the Golden Boot with 6 strikes for the Three Lions. The yet-to-be-played World Cup will take place in Qatar from November 21 to December 18. For the first, the 2022 World Cup will be hosted in the Arab world. The upcoming World Cup tournament is unique in the sense that Qatar, the host country, is the smallest nation to have hosted the FIFA World Cup. The next smallest nation to have hosted the World Cup was Switzerland in 1954. Switzerland is 3 times the size of Qatar and only had to take in 16 teams instead of the current 32 national teams for the 2022 World Cup. After the Olympics, the FIFA World Cup tournament is no doubt the biggest and largest event in the sporting world. It's also the most expensive and the most viewed single sport event in the world. What are your thoughts on the upcoming World Cup tournament? Did you enjoy the video? Click the button below to like and subscribe.